Welcome, everybody. We'll start the press conference with Aurélien Tchouaméni. You can raise your hand, name, surname, name of the media, and you ask the question. Aurélien will answer it. Hi, Aurélien. Here. The medical staff has been quite attacked strongly by PSG after the injury of Dembélé. How are you living it as a squad? Well, we didn't speak about it. We were very sad and disappointed for Ousmane Dembélé and Désiré to be injured. We hope they'll get back soon, but that's not something we've talked about. Hi, Aurélien. Bouncing back on that question, since you've been on the French national team 4 years now, you've seen how clubs can add some pressure and push the players for them to avoid going to the national team. The more you get to the national team, the more you get injured. Well, in the end, the player say how he feels, if he thinks it's hard for him to play because there is a high risk of getting injured. I think that the coach has always known us well. He knows when we need to avoid playing. Sometimes there might be some injuries. It can happen, but for me, as per myself, at Real Madrid, I think there is always a great relationship and connection. Can you talk about your duo with Manu Koné as pivot, and you've had a great beginning and starting of the season, so how do you feel? Well, regarding Manu, I've talked about it a few times already. He's a wonderful player. I think not everybody really sees how amazing he is, and I'm really happy because we have a great connection both in and out of the pitch. So it's great to have the opportunity to play with a player such as himself. And regarding my beginning of the season, it's not news. It's not anything new for me to be great at what I'm doing with my club. So I'm just trying to focus on myself and help my teammates. Hi, Aurélien. Following the question, you've been playing for a few months between the midfield and the defense. So do you think that with the new manager, with Xabi Alonso, this has changed? Well, especially the first half of the season, it's fair to say that I was playing a bit closer to the goalkeeper, more in defense, but now I've been able to go back to the midfield, even though I gain experience playing in defense, so I think it helps me. And then Xabi Alonso arrived. He has new ideas, a new philosophy of football, and I think it really matches with what I want to do. So hopefully our future together is bright. So Iceland is not the great national team that we've seen in 2016, 2018. So what do you think about them? What did you study about them? I think you've watched some videos. Yes, well, it will be a tough game tomorrow. You know, it's a national team. We don't know what they have in mind, even though we might think of something, but we just focus on ourselves. If we play at our level, it shouldn't be too difficult for us to win it. So we need to raise the bar to do even more than what we've done against Ukraine, and then we'll see how it goes. Hi, Aurélien. You know Kylian Mbappé very well. We've seen him quite relaxed, brightened. So can you confirm that it's a completely different Mbappé compared to last year? especially with all the controversies that were going on around him? Well, I think that he adapted quite well. He blended in. It was a big change, a new country, new club. He's always been smiling, whether it was with us, the club, or with the national teammates. We know that he has incredible qualities, and when he can play at this level, obviously it really helps us to win games. Aurélien, we've seen your pass qualities and abilities. There were some Toni Kroos passes, some Modric passes. So do you think that they influence your game? Well, I think that my passes have always been great. So sometimes it shows better than others. Against Ukraine, it really showed. But I think that's something that I'm able to do, and yes, that's right. I learn with the best, the players that you've talked about. So I really hope that I'll keep improving on that. Hi, Aurélien. You'll play the 3 games, the national games at Parc des Princes, and you won't be playing at the Stade de France. So are you sad not going back there? Well, obviously, Stade de France is an incredible one. It's a credible stadium. We have great memories there, as well as the French audience. I don't know what will happen in the future, but I hope it will be possible. The cameras over there. We talk a lot about the way people look at you, and we were saying, and we've seen that besides Mbappé, not a lot of new audience is recognized. What do you mean? The federation said when they ask to the audience, who do you know from France? Besides Kylian Mbappé, they don't know a lot of people. So, well, I don't know. Maybe if we win games and we win trophies, silverwares, well, people will like us more, will know more, and will be more famous. But I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of players from the national team that are recognized on the street and stuff. But popularity, I think it comes with victories, with wins, and the connection with the audience. I think that the win against Croatia really helped us to connect with the crowd. So I hope that this qualifiers campaign and the next competition will really help us to get well connected with the audience and the French public. Is it hard for you at the beginning of the season to play one game after the other? Especially that for this World Cup you have 6 games? Well, it's a good question. So we resumed the year quite late. Well, we can think that we didn't prepare that much. So our bodies are really suffering since the beginning. I think that maybe that's something I can answer in the following months. At this present time, I feel quite well, but that's fair. There'll be a lot of games, a lot of intensity, and we'll see later on how I translate our capacity. Aurélien, in this 4-2-3-1 formation, your role, your position might change. Do you think that you might be a little bit more defensive, or do you think that you'll be able to go forward on the pitch and maybe try to shoot at 20-25 meters? Well, it changed between 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3. It depends. When we're 6 in front of the defense, you have more this role of protecting the defense as a double pivot. So sometimes you have the ability to go forward, to be more offensive. Sometimes you face strikers that really needs you to defend well. It really depends on the opponents you face. Hi, Aurélien. Against Ukraine, Michael Ollis really struck the public. So you've known him for a long time. How the first touch of the ball, the way he's moving really makes a difference with the others? Well, I think that the first thing that strikes me is that he makes things look easy. When you see him like with this nonchalant, you think it's so easy for him to play like that, but it's not like that. Absolutely, Michael is a wonderful player. We've seen it every weekend with Bayern Munich, and he's able to showcase his abilities on the pitch with the national team as well. So it's incredible. Well, last question. Hi, Aurélien. In 8 days, you'll face Olympique Marseille with Real Madrid. Is it something that you're happy about as you're French? Well, yes, I was happy to know that we'll face both Monaco and Olympique Marseille on this Champions League campaign. They'll come home. As I said, it would have been nice to play at the Velodrome in Marseille because there is always this very special atmosphere, but we look forward to the start of this Champions League phase league. Thank you. Hi, Didier. Are you ready to change the medical protocol, program for a better cooperation and collaboration? Well, the manager, the coach, that's what I do. I don't know anything about protocols and medical staff. Transparency, what you're asking, I don't know what to do. I'm very sad for both Désiré and Ousmane because they are obviously injured, so we hope they get better. But we also lose two very important players for tomorrow. As I already said, we did things very professionally, as we've always done, and as we do with every player, taking into account their sensations, what they were feeling. Unfortunately, it happens, and it involves two PSG players. But now, to avoid questions only about this matter, PSG is not our opponent. It's never been. And obviously, I understand interests might differ sometimes. I was on the other side of the game in the past with the clubs, but the only opponents we are facing is Iceland tomorrow. How are you feeling when what you do is put into questions, especially Legal, your medical chief? Well, I don't want to talk about it again. I just told you I don't want to get into details. Everybody can have their opinion, pros and cons, but honestly, I can only reiterate what I've just said. We are doing things with care and with attention, with conversations, with all clubs. I'm not talking about PSG specifically. When they're called up, there are games and there is a protocol, a program. I won't go into details. I don't want to talk about it, but every player should come at Clairefontaine and tell what are their injuries, what they're feeling. I had Ryan Cherki and William Saliba, and we know I didn't call them because our medical chief received the images, received the report on their injuries. So when it can't happen, it can happen. So I'm still talking about this fight, this matter. Well, it's close, but it regards tomorrow's game. Do you think that this pressure that's been put by PSG, do you think that it can influence your formation? Do you think that Bradley Barcola, for example, should be preserved? Because if something happens, it will be a big drama, and then I have Bayern Munich calling me Real Madrid, and you'll end up on the starting 11. I think there is a better choice than Florent, honestly. You're not at your best now? No, honestly, I'm the one taking and making decisions with my staff. They have clubs, obviously, I understand it. So interests are different, I know it, but I'm always taking everything into account, all the elements that we have and the feelings of the players. That's at core, because even though they always want to play, there is something that we have to take into account. It's always been essential for me. Hi Didier. To talk about something else than the controversy, the important thing is there are two players that have been injured, but Gudmundsson has been injured as well. He's a great player. There are others, Williams with Spain. So that's the core issue here, and you've often talked about it, the international calendar. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I have two injured players. Since the list has been made known, Saliba and Cherki, were they concerned by the Club World Cup, by the Cherki? Yes, but Ibou Konaté had a problem during his last game. At the 75 minutes, he couldn't walk, and the club said, no, he's not coming. And in the end, the other day, he was fit. So obviously, the players that played the Club World Cup, it has extended their season. But when you see the NFP asking the government to call up FIFA and say that something bad for national teams, well, we're just talking about facts. We're not talking about football here, but it's 10% of the players, the international players, because there are 18 clubs here in France and they don't have international appointments. So even though we're saying the coaches, managers, who can really decide and who can make the things change? Well, institutions. So Kylian said what he thought about it. Players love to play one game after the other. The issue is the rest time, the resting time they need sometimes for the psych and physical aspect of that. And that's a time that is always reduced, whether it's in summer or during the winter as well. Talking about football, can you tell us the lineup for tomorrow? No, you're not answering anything. Do you think there will be a lot of changes compared to the starting 11 of the other day? And have you looked at the pitch? Because it wasn't great last time. Well, yes, it's better. It's getting better, even though it has suffered a lot. The grass. The grass better than when PSG played their last game. And regarding tomorrow, we still have a session, training session. The main worry is to see how the players that started last game are feeling. I think that there will be some changes. After 3 days, it's an issue. After 4, it's a bit better, but I still don't know. Obviously, freshness is important, but we still need to see what have been done greatly. So obviously, there will be some players, some new players that will be on the formation, on the lineup. So we said that the first half the other day was really interesting from the attacking point of view. Do you think that the injury of Désiré Doué and Ousmane Dembélé makes you question the formation in 4-2-3-1? And is there a classic number 10? Well, that doesn't exist anymore. Obviously, we're losing two important players with Ousmane and Désiré. With the latter, we had the possibility to play on both sides, on both wings, but I was able to call up Kingsley Coman. Obviously, the profile is quite different, but I still want to do what we're able to do and to really make our opponents struggle. Obviously, two players are missing, and regarding the number 10, well, it's an offensive player with a lot of creativity. Even though he can play in two different positions, this year more on the right side, but in the middle of the game, the middle of the field, sorry, he has a great touch and he is able to find the strikers that are in front of him and to conclude as well and shoot, as it was the case on Friday. Marcus Thuram is always called up, even though his statistics are quite thin for a striker, for a forward. So what role may him have in your 4-2-3-1 as the one the forward is usually Kylian Mbappé? Well, yes, it's a different position than the one he played with his club, because they played with two strikers, but we know that efficiency is missing, and that's what we ask in a forward. I think there is a step that he needs to really do. I might use him more on the wings, on the sides. Marcus is a worker. He's not doing everything great, but he worked a lot. And he has played a long time on the sides. He didn't want to play forward, and so I know he likes a different system because, for example, in Inter they have a back five formation, so it's a bit different. But I know that they count on him absolutely, whether it's starting or coming from the bench. So last game, Hugo played and came off the bench, but he could play absolutely. So 3 questions to end. What kind of games do you expect for tomorrow? And a bonus question, are you happy to be back at Parc des Princes compared to the Stade de France? Well, this Iceland team has evolved. The game is a lot less direct. Players know each other very well, so they have technical players, even though they lost important players such as Gudmundsson, Ratson, players that we know in our league. It's quite interesting, so they always have the ability to go straight and forward. They're good also on free kicks, on some part of set pieces. So they are able to build actions to play well. Their players are part of European teams. So I think we don't have to underestimate them at all. We need to respect them, and there will be a great fight to do tomorrow. And on the fact that we're here, I'm happy here. I'm happy when I'm playing at the Stade de France. So it won't be the case this year for different reasons, but we're here in France, at home in Paris, and the stadium will be full tomorrow, so everything's fine. The use of Rabiot tomorrow in a position like Désiré used him, is it an option for you? And Kefren Thuram, is it an option as well? I have a lot of options. I only have options and then I'll make decisions. Yes, Adrien played in a different position. I still don't know where he'll play at AC Milan. He's fit. He's well, that's for sure. Obviously, he didn't play much at the beginning of this season based on what happened in Marseille, but we'll see. And Kefren, he's doing great things. This is why he's been called up. He had a great season last year with great statistics, great data. He started well, so those are two options. Even though I only used Adrien against Ukraine, as it was last game. Just a few words regarding Michael Olise. How do you see him within the squad? He's quite discreet, silent. Do you think that he evolved, that he improved on this aspect as well? Well, you won't hear him laugh or speak loudly. It's his personality. He's quite discreet and shy, but he knows the surroundings. He knows the atmosphere. There is no issue about it. Obviously, at the beginning, he was really arriving here quietly, but that's the case with many players, and now he had really blended in, and he speaks on the pitch. He's a great professional. Everything is set. He has a tight schedule during the day, and some players are more extrovert. He's more introverted, but it can balance out the other players with strong personalities. Thank you, Didier. End of the press conference, and the first 15 minutes of the training session will be open to media at 6 p.m.